That's what you get. Don't write checks that your ass can't cash, all right? So there you go.
I can cash. Hey, I can cash plenty of checks. And I can cash this one. But the point is, I'd prefer not to have to friggin' pick games because then we get carried away. I got carried away because of the 49ers. It would have been 49ers versus Cowboys, 49ers versus Eagles, 49ers versus Dolphins, 49ers versus Rams, 49ers versus anybody. That's how I would have felt. It wasn't about the Ravens. It was never about the Ravens, but the way I said it, and I said it in a way I shouldn't have said. I agree with what Lamar said after the game. We're going to play it coming up. It was about the 49ers, and they were invincible. You said it yourself. It feels like the 80s or the 90s, where there's one team that is just wire-to-wire dominant, and nobody else has a chance. And usually in those days, there were two, and guess what? Now there are. I guess that's the
silver
big
lining
takeaway.
Here. Yeah, right.
There isn't just one. There's two. There's one that's been lurking in the AFC because we're so caught up in Tua and Tyreek and what's wrong with Mahomes and the Bills' disintegration, and now they're finding it again. We've just kind of not really focused on the Ravens a way that we should.
Well,
after last night, they're now right in the middle of the spotlight.
Well, this is the third time this year we've seen them be, let's say, maybe scared of an opponent and then play their best football. Like, oh, no, this could be scary, Detroit Lions. Oh, no, this could be scary, Seattle Seahawks. Oh, they kicked the crap out of both of those teams. And then, of course, the same thing last night a little bit. But, Mike, I don't think, you were crazy with what you said. I mean, you went a little overboard, certainly. We were having fun. It's a picks podcast and all that. And you went all in on the 49ers. Also, too, hey, the 49ers, to back you up, they've been playing phenomenal football. Like, nobody has even been in their class that's been on the football field with them over the last 5-6 weeks. The Baltimore Ravens, no, that has not been the case necessarily. So it's like, you look at the Baltimore Ravens over the last 4 or 5 weeks and go, oh, the Chargers game, kind of fortunate to win that game. It wasn't ugly or pretty. I mean, it was ugly. It wasn't pretty or dominating. The Rams game, they won by the skin of their teeth. The Jacksonville Jaguars game, I know it says 23-7, but we know that game was much closer than that and was not that comfortable at all. So there was some things there to think that the 49ers could control this football game, certainly. But, hey, that's what happens in the NFL. That's what's crazy. That's how I envision it. I envision, either their last team meeting in Baltimore or Christmas Eve in the hotel. Coaches usually play a little video to get you hyped for the week. Here's something. We made this, some highlights from last week's game, and then spliced in as some motivational tactics. And I feel like that's maybe where you came in. I don't know that for sure, but that feels like that's where that was played for the football team for it to resonate the way it did. And it's fun. I'm enjoying it, and it's great to see your ugly sweater out there and about going on social media.
And by the way, before it becomes a thing, the line about the Ravens kicking the SH-T out of the Dolphins is a joke. That's a joke. We haven't made our picks yet, and trust me, on Thursday when we do our picks, I will not say, even though I'm inclined to pick the Ravens, I will not say that the Ravens will kick the you-know-what out of the Dolphins. And, those games you mentioned, Lions, Seahawks, those were in Baltimore. That was one of the big factors for me. They're a much different team in Baltimore. And we saw that game not that long ago where they kind of got into an arm wrestling competition with the Rams, which when you take a step back from it, it's like the Rams, it's a dome team from L.A., and they're out in the rain, and they give you that kind of a game. It's like, But again, at the end of the day, it was all about the 49ers. My belief was the 49ers were significantly better than everyone. Everyone, anyone, insert name of team, any of the other 31 NFL teams, 49ers significantly better. And I was wrong about the Ravens. And I own it. I admit it. I was flat out wrong about the Ravens. And that's where this does really become interesting. Did I help stoke the fire? I'll find out. I'll find out. I'll find out.
Well, they were going to find.
I thought I'd get a phone call last night from someone who's high up with the team.
Well,
somebody who wears the
they were
whistle
going to
around
find
his neck.
something. They're going to find something somewhere of somebody saying something disrespectful to the Baltimore Ravens. You just happen to be the guy that. Wait, most of that coaching staff, I know a lot of coaches there. They are on Pro Football Talk a lot, so they saw that video and said, "Look at what this jerk's saying." I mean, forget Harbaugh. I know Harbaugh reads PFT. I know there's some other assistant coaches there as well that do. So I'm not shocked that they saw that. And and we know that group there too. Chippy, right? They want to be the bullies. You're telling them they're not going to be the bullies. They thrive off of that. That's what they looked like last night. The game, the way it started, they took a few haymakers. They were a little wobbly in the corner. And you're going, oh, man, they don't look like they're in the same class as the 49ers. And they hung in there and regained their balance and started punching the body of the 49ers a little bit. And all of a sudden, it was them throwing haymakers, and it was the 49ers wobbly in the corner. And it was like, holy crap, I haven't seen the 49ers wobbly in the corner really all year like that. And it just was an amazing swing of momentum, physicality, schematics. Everything about it was very impressive by the Baltimore Ravens. And you're right. At the end of the day, now it just feels like, hey, it's not inevitable here. The 49ers aren't going to win the Super Bowl. Not that we knew it was definitely going to happen, but it had that feel. This gives us a whole new look to go, whoa, the Ravens are the real deal for real here and can mess with anybody and, of course, can beat anybody on any field.
I mean, it felt like it was inevitable that they would get to the Super Bowl, and we've been trying to identify someone in the AFC that could maybe compete with them in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58, and now we have. But before last night, I just didn't think there was. And it was depressing. It was disappointing. I didn't want that. I don't want it to be coronation. I want it to be competition. I want the playoff games to be good. I mean, we've said it here, and I've tweeted it. I don't want the Vikings in the playoffs. The Vikings don't deserve to be in the playoffs. The Vikings aren't good enough to beat anybody in the playoffs. Oh, no, now they're going to run the table. But now they're going to use that. Now they're going to use that Saturday night. I just got to stop saying anything. I'm going to be like Kramer and take a vow of silence. But I want teams. And you made this point initially. This is how I first got onto it, like with the Steelers and all the Renegade stuff. And it's fun, and they win, and they find a way to win, and that's great until they go to the playoffs and they go on the road and they lose by 30. Let's get teams in the playoffs that are best suited to give us. We're being selfish here. We want exciting postseason games. We want the Rams in. We want the Seahawks in. We want the teams that can win in January, or at least not give us 42-10.
Yes, no stinkers.
Or 42-19. Or the various other scores we've seen from the 49ers victories during the regular season this year, except for last night. So, and you talk about how it got started last night. That weird moment where, and we see this all the time, and this is one of the functions of putting the umpire back where the referee is for his own safety. It used to be the umpire was close to the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball, and still, don't they still move him there very late, or did they change that? I still see him backing out. They back out all the time now. I don't think they put him over there anymore at all.
I think first year they might have done that. Yeah, you're right.
They got away from that. It's the umpire backs out of the fray, and as the umpire's backing out of the fray, the play starts. Lamar Jackson runs back that way. He's pressured in that direction.
He's 25 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
The umpire falls down. The umpire falls down. No. Down goes the umpire. Lamar trips over him, gets rid of the ball, and it's intentional grounding. And look, what do they always say? The official's part of the field. It's unfortunate. You don't get a mulligan, though. It's not like playing football out in the street and the ball hits the tree and it's a do-over.
Right.
It's unfortunate that it happened, and it could have been, the first step in what would have been a long night for the Ravens, but that's part of what they overcame. And then it was 5-0, and that was kind of the moment where the Ravens found the switch.
Yeah, they found the switch.
Just became methodical. It became methodical, and the 49ers couldn't answer, and the interceptions kept happening. And I think the moment was the 30-yard run by Lamar Jackson.
Niners at all, because they're great all across the board, but we gonna come to play as well. Our record not no fluke. We play ball, and we showed that, But he just need to just keep doing his job, but just don't just come off like that towards us. That's disrespectful, like I said, because he ain't putting them pads on, if he would put them pads on, I feel like it would have been different for him. He wouldn't say that. He'd be respectful, you know. But because I say that to say this, you know, we respectful to our opponents. Our opponents were respectful to us. But a guy who not even playing against us just come out just, you know, just being disrespectful. I guess he wanted more views on his little channel. We're gonna leave it at that.
I got nothing to say other than he's absolutely right. Yeah. He's absolutely right. And I wasn't trying to provoke that reaction. We were just talking about the games.
You weren't trying to be disrespectful to the Ravens. You were just that much of a believer in the 49ers and the way they were playing.
If you watch the clip and you give it a fair and full listen, it wasn't anything about the Ravens. It was any other team that you would pick and put on Christmas night in that stadium against that team. That's what the 49ers had caused many to believe. I'm getting texts from another head coach as we speak saying, I said the same thing. Here's my text message about what's going to happen on Christmas night to the Ravens. And it's not because of the Ravens, it's because of the 49ers and the way the 49ers have been playing. But still, I shouldn't have phrased it the way I did. I didn't mean it to be disrespectful to them. And this was all jumping off of a conversation about Kyle Hamilton thinking the Ravens were being disrespected as 5-point underdogs. My reaction to that was only 5? Only 5? It's a sign of respect that Vegas got it right. I got it wrong. Vegas got it right. Although I guess it should have been 49ers minus 13 or Ravens minus 13. Excuse me. I'm getting the two teams mixed up today. That's good. There's no longer the 49ers and everyone else. It's the 49ers and the Ravens and everyone else, with the Dolphins having a chance this weekend to crash that party in Baltimore on New Year's Eve. But the odds makers saw that it wasn't the looming disaster that I thought it would be and others thought it would be because, I mean, the scores of the 49ers games since their 3-game losing streak when they came out of the bye, starting with 34-3 in Jacksonville, they have won double digits every game, 6 games in a row. And that's what fed into this idea that you put anyone out there on Christmas night in Santa Clara, and the 49ers are going to do what they've been doing to everyone. That's what had me so perplexed by the line only being 5 and what caused me to say what I said. And if it helped the Ravens give us a memorable Christmas night and take away this idea that it's wire-to-wire 49ers and it's 49ers win their 6th Super Bowl and everybody else is just hanging around for second place, good. Because I didn't like that aspect of it. It was hovering over the season like every other game we watched. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. They're all playing for second place anyway. That's gone now. I'm happy that that's gone. That makes the rest of the season and the playoffs more exciting, unless it wakes up the 49ers and they do go. But we don't expect it now if they do it. It's not expected. We're in a position where we can expect the unexpected. That's what I like.
Yeah, I hear that. The unexpected is still in play, and we've seen that the Ravens can play at a level that can match anybody in the sport, right? That's the big thing. And it doesn't – I don't come away looking at this like maybe the way I looked at the Bills beating the Cowboys or, you know, the way the 49ers beat the Eagles. It has a different feel here. You know, this has a little bit more of, the Ravens, they outplayed the 49ers. There's no doubt about that. The 49ers did some things too, though, that they don't usually do, right? I didn't, like I said, come away from the game and go, oh, man, they can't physically match up with this team if they have to play them again. No. This would be a great Super Bowl rematch. It's hard to overcome 5 turnovers. Really, 4 in the competitive part of the football game and think you're going to beat a team like the Baltimore Ravens. That ain't going to happen. Not with Lamar Jackson and a focused football team like they were. Really impressive win by them. 49ers got to do some work, certainly. But, like you said, Ravens, 49ers, they look like they are in a class of their own. We're going to see if maybe the Dolphins and somebody else can join that party here this week, and that'll be fun to watch.
Here's the real question to ask, and I don't know what the answer is. They play that game 10 times. How many times does what happened last night happen? I don't know, because they played it one time, and what happened. That's all that matters. And maybe they'll play it again in Las Vegas. And that was another thing I said last week. If this is a Super Bowl preview, the Super Bowl is going to suck. Well, no, the Super Bowl is going to be pretty damn interesting if it's Ravens 49ers. It's going to be extremely compelling if it's these two teams again. So I mean, thank you to the Ravens for giving us another team that is up there on the upper echelon with the 49ers. It had been the 49ers and everybody else for too long. And now there's at least two, and the Dolphins have something to say about it this weekend when they go to Baltimore.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Ravens, for that.
They at least have a chance.
Yeah.
They at least have a chance. Whether or not they do is a different issue, but they at least have a chance. They have an opportunity, and we'll see what they do with it.
Yeah, we'll see what they do, definitely. But that was an impressive win last night. It was great to see them go on the road, get that. The motivation, the physicality. You know, they never really blinked, even when they were taking some of those body blows and haymakers early on in the football game. And, of course, them capping it off with just crapping all over you and doing all that. I mean, that couldn't have really ended better on a Monday night of Christmas. What a gift. What a gift Santa gave us on Christmas night. The Grinch got put back in his place by a man named Lamar Jackson.
Listen. I want to know if you hear from Kyle. You know, we don't have to talk about it on the show. I want to personally know if you hear from Kyle and if Kyle complains that I got the Ravens all riled up and contributed to them losing.
One of your annoying headlines.
I can't win now. I'm caught between Ravens fans who are sticking it to me, and rightfully so. I take it. I'm responding to even the most hostile emails. I'll at least respond with a Merry Christmas. And 49ers fans who, there are some who were mad because I did this.
Yep,
I caused this.
You put the kibosh on them. Right.
And
right.
I got the Ravens fired up when the 49ers were very respectful all the way up until the game and during the game. They were very respectful of the Ravens, and I had to get it all screwed up for San Francisco. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.